Thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi with a detailed look at your Colorado weather forecast, which for your day today is going to feature a fairly substantial risk for severe weather from I-25 on east. That does include the Denver area. And something I've been saying all morning long. Today is a good garage day. If you have access to a garage or a carport, have the car under it, unless you want some hail damage. Now, that said, the risk in the Denver area is relatively low that we see a storm. And I'll explain this here in just a second. We have a low risk for a storm, but we've got a high risk for severe weather. So point being, it's a bit of a boom or bust situation today. If we do end up seeing a storm, it would likely be a big one. So let's kind of get into that a little bit. First of all, a lot of that will depend on how much we can break up these clouds. We've got a fair bit of cloud cover overhead right now here in the Denver area. The cloud cover is actually a good thing if you want to avoid these big hailstorms, because when you get that sunshine, it adds instability. It destabilizes the atmosphere. That sunshine does. And so when you've got more sunshine, you've got warmer temperatures, you've got higher dew points, you've got more kind of fuel for a stronger storm. So again, it might feel like a bit of a, might not feel intuitive that the fact that you've got more cloud cover is actually a good thing in terms of avoiding severe weather, but that is certainly the case. This is a look from Lookout Mountain. Again, still seeing a fair bit of sunshine out there, but the more cloud cover that we've got, the more those clouds hang on, the lower the risk we'll have for severe weather. But as I'm saying, across the entire Denver area, I'm saying today is probably going to end up being a cautious garage day. What I mean by that is most of us will probably not see a storm, but if we do see a storm, it would be a nasty one. So again, have the car in the garage today, take those large hail preventative measures this morning while you've still got the time before those storms move in between about 1 to 4 p.m. this afternoon. And then lesser storms tomorrow. By the way, I haven't talked about our friends on the Eastern Plains. You get east of DIA, get east of the airport, and there's a much higher risk for severe weather as you move east. And again, I'll show you all this here in maps in just a second. Big warm-up starts on Thursday. So, as I mentioned, there is a level 2 risk for severe weather on a 0 to 5 scale in the Denver area for today. It moves down a little bit as you get west of town, so Boulder, the foothills. I don't think we end up seeing a storm in Boulder or the foothills today. Higher risk will be from I-25 on east. That does include the city of Denver. So again, Denver proper, that's where you've got the risk for severe storms. And then as you get east of DIA, that risk increases. And for our friends in the northeastern corner, so that'd be for Sedgwick, Phillips counties, up that way, there is an enhanced risk. That is a level 3 risk on a 0 to 5 scale. And that's where we could be talking about a much higher risk for large hail, for damaging winds, and perhaps even a tornado or two. HD Doppler radar not showing much yet, but we will start to see those showers, storms fill on in over the course of the next 2 to 3 hours, and that will mainly concentrate areas, as I mentioned, east of I-25, but it is close enough that we could see some of those storms develop here in the immediate Denver area. And that's why, again, I'm saying that garage day just because it is going to be a close call for Denver in terms of whether or not we end up seeing some of the strongest storms. Again, certainly you head east town, Byers, Deer Trail on east. That's where you're going to be looking at a much higher risk for severe storms, and definitely want to take those hail preventative measures for your day today. Also, if you got anything lying around, I don't know, some kids' toys from over the weekend, bring those inside, patio furniture, things like that, just because that could get blown around in some of those stronger winds. So, closer look in here. Again, notice how those storms develop just to the east of Denver, but we do see some showers trying to pop on up here in town. Again, it's a close call here, folks. So somewhere between about 1 and 4, we'll see those storms first fire on up along the I-25 corridor, and exactly where they develop will determine how much in the way of severe weather or not that we end up seeing here in the immediate Denver area. I would put the odds of us seeing a storm today, though, at probably about 30%, so well less than 50%. We probably will not see a storm here in Denver, but it's close. And again, if that 30% does pan on out, it could be trouble for us here in the immediate metro area. Right now, 65 here in Denver. That's, again, helping on out. That's thanks to that cloud cover that's been with us. That is keeping that risk a little bit lower in terms of that possibility for severe weather. But it might feel a little muggy out there, and if it does feel muggy to you, you'd be right. Dew point about 50 degrees here in Denver. That's kind of muggy for us here in the Denver area. I wouldn't call it crazy muggy by any stretch of the imagination, but you're probably feeling it a little bit as you step outside. you're certainly feeling it as you head east of Lyman. By the way, Lyman, a couple of nasty storms yesterday for friends out there. Maybe another one for you today. Lamar, also a nasty storm yesterday, and Lamar, 60-degree dew point. That you can really feel when you're getting dew points that high. Lows tonight, 50s eastern plains, 40s into the mountains. Tomorrow, severe risk much lower for us. I think today's the last kind of higher severe weather risk day for northeastern Colorado for a little bit of time here. Maybe a bit on Thursday, but I think as we get into your day tomorrow, we'll have a much lower risk for severe storms. That said, Pueblo on south, we'll have to watch for a few storms that could turn severe out that way. We do have the chance for afternoon storms. We do have a fair bit of cloud cover for your day tomorrow. High temperature right around 79 degrees. And we do have, again, a fair bit of cloud cover throughout the course of the day. Higher risk for storms south Colorado Springs and south of Pueblo, where you could see an isolated severe storm or two develop. And tomorrow here in Denver, we do have that chance for a storm well south of town, but I think here in town we're going to stay dry. High temperature right around 80 degrees with, again, we'll have more clouds than sun throughout the day tomorrow, but we'll see some bits of sunshine as well. Thursday, severe weather risk will be in the far eastern plains from Sterling and Flagler, so kind of Burlington on north to around Ray. That's where you'll be looking at that higher risk for severe weather as we get into your day on your Thursday. But overall, it's a much drier forecast. We do have an isolated storm for both Wednesday and Thursday. I think we stay dry both days here in Denver. And then Saturday and Sunday, very isolated storms. But really here, folks, the story, once we get past today, we're going to be dry for a little while. So really, today is the last real risk for severe weather for the next 6-7 days. We enter into a very dry and very hot pattern with temperatures into the 90s, probably starting on Saturday and lasting into early next week. So again, today, make sure you're ready for severe weather. Between 1 and 4, we'll see those storms develop. Once we get to about 4 or 5 o'clock, that risk will diminish for Denver, Eastern Plains. Your risk develops around 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then it increases as we get into the evening hours. Then once we get past today, much lower risk for severe storms for the remainder of the week here in Denver and throughout much of northeastern Colorado as well. Meteorologist Keely Chalmers has another update coming up at 9 News at noon, and also meteorologist Danielle Grant will have more details coming up at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 on the 9 News family of networks. We'll also, by the way, break in here on 9 News Plus. If severe weather does break on in, want to make sure that you know about that. If you're joining us here on Roku, Amazon Fire, we will have updates as severe weather happens this afternoon. Perhaps another update coming up for you at 2 o'clock as well. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. Stay safe out there. Have the car in the garage just in case. And we'll see you right back here on 9 News Plus later on this afternoon.